What has been your biggest fuck up leading up to this point in life? Losing friends because I didn't put effort into maintaining the relationship. Nobody tells you when you're a kid just how hard it is to make new friends once you're past your college years. Me too. And I was very self-conscious of how clingy needy I could be, and I overcompensated by being distant and cool and unbothered. I hope 2020 will be a year of new friendships for you. Edit, I'm a little bit overwhelmed by the replies. So many of us on the same boat. Some can let go and move on, some are still plagued by those decisions. Sometimes I even avoid my parents' calls because I don't want them to think I can't be independent or worry them over me not adjusting. Sometimes I get a text and sit on it for hours so that the other person won't be burdened into an immediate conversation. But baby steps, guys. Tomorrow if I smile at you and you don't smile back, I'm not going to second guess and ponder over it. I'll keep greeting you with a smile. Let's all be friends. Took a very large dose of a research chemical thinking it'd be like acid, went clinically insane for like a year and require inpatient hospitalization. Took me 2 years after that to build my life up and have a career, but I was never totally the same. Such is life. Was it in the 2CX family? Sure was. Was it 2CE or 2CP? Just curious. I'm glad you're doing better. 25. See if I recall correctly. Allegedly, so perhaps not in the precise family you're referencing, I've avoided research on the subject for obvious reasons. AK. Bohms, nasty stuff at high doses. I had a relatable experience in college. Was sold to me as LSD and took my usual 3-blotter dose expecting 8 to 12 hours of decent visuals, and instead wound up in what amounted to a 32-hour coma, curled up on the floor in unnatural positions experiencing full-on ego death. Spent the next 2 years believing I had discovered the meaning of life and wanted everyone to know the universe was shaped like a bundle of twine. Luckily it was Boulder, so I fit right in. It's been almost 7 years and I've recovered, but sometimes the thought still crosses my mind that I must die that night, and the rest of my experience since then has just been part of the trip. I've learned not to place any abstract meaning on anything I experience anymore, keeps me from thinking too much about it. Edit, suppose this is where I say thanks for the gold, stranger. Bohm led to me and my buddy cuddling on the couch to stay warm, in the heat of summer, for 8 straight hours lol. We thought it was LSD and we're prepared for LSD, weren't prepared for that lol. We thought it was LSD and we're prepared for LSD, weren't prepared for that lol. The moment you taste something and realize your dealer ducked you. To those unaware, LSD has no taste. These chemicals people are talking about in this thread do. Being a floater. Meaning being friends with multiple friend groups in life without really being a solid part in any one. Left with none eventually. Edit, floaters unite, thank you all for all the kind words. It's nice to not feel alone in this. Kid with wrong person. Really ends your life for the most part. I'm in this position. I'm sure I can pick up the pieces, but I know it's going to take a very long time. I've effectively pissed away my youth though. Me too, and it was really hard for many years. But now my daughter is about to turn 18 and she's an absolute go-getter who is getting into a great college. I'm so happy I have her. Getting married to the wrong person. It led to a lengthy divorce in which time my ex tanked me financially. It took me years to recover. Edit, tanked and financially because I don't know how to type. Right there with you on that one. It's been 8 years and I'm just now seeing the light again. So you're saying Therese Hope. Almost 3 years out and it's starting to get pretty lonely. But I have a better job, money and savings for the first time in my life. Starting to smoke. I was a super heavy smoker. I was driving home from a charity event for American Cancer Society, I recognized the irony, and I stopped at a rest stop to grab coffee. I was having a cigarette and a lady who had barely survived lung cancer came up to me in the parking lot and asked me to quit. She said, I wish someone just came up to me and asked me to quit, so that is what I am doing for you. Please quit before it's too late. And so I stopped at the drugstore and got the patch. The process is uncomfortable and it took me a year of using it to finally come off of it, but it's been 6 years since I had a cigarette. Please quit before it's too late. My mother just finished treatments for lung cancer and asked me to pick up 2 packs at the gas station because she's too weak to drive yet. Nicotine is a hell of a drug. Good on you for quitting. A lot of people think there's no point in quitting if they already have cancer, but if you're in treatment, smoking is making your treatment less effective. It slows healing after surgery and increases the risk of complications, and chemo and radiation are not as effective. Probably dropping out of my dream college to be closer to my now ex. Regret that decision every single day. Edit, I did not expect anyone to see this lol for real. I just signed up for Reddit today, and thank you all for the words of encouragement and sharing your experiences too. It's kind of comforting in a weird way knowing that I'm not the only one to make this mistake. Is the dream college no longer an option? It's still very much an option but nowhere near viable with my current situation. That was a very trying time in my life and it kinda destroyed me on the inside, and now I have fears of going back and failing again just like last time. I think you should still give it a shot, op. You're a stronger and wiser person now. Being a lazy piece of shit. Edit, thanks for the awards, you worthless human beings. The money you spent on those could have easily gone to curing cancer, ending world hunger, or housing the homeless, but instead you pander here to the frivolity of Reddit. Really, you should take a hard look in the mirror and ask if you are doing enough in the world. Heathens. This is a lazy comment, very true to nature. Indeed. Staying with someone for way too long because I thought I could help them. NBSP, I was 25 when I met her. She was broken and very needy. She had a lot of issues with herself, mainly she always felt insecure and inadequate. For those times when she was okay, everything was amazing and she was the best person to be around with. But those times were rare, she was jealous about anyone and everyone. I didn't even hang around my friends anymore because she would make me feel guilty later on and she could never get along with them. I always thought I could help her, but only after everything fell apart did I realize that in my effort to always be there for her I broke myself. NBSP, we broke up 2 years ago. I'm now 33 and just starting to fix relationships that I've abandoned because I was too focused on her. I don't blame her at all because that was my choice, but it's been hard. This cut deep. Not because the same happened to me but because my case is exactly the opposite. My girlfriend broke up with me last week and I've been devastated, but what hurts the most is to realize that I was to blame. I have a lot of issues with myself and she tried to help me, she was always there for me, but I just kept giving her problems. My problems. I know she'll be okay, but I'll always regret the way I treated her. I feel both sides of this. In my last relationship, my ex was seemingly my soulmate. We loved all the same things and when it was great, it was great. But we both had issues we needed to address within ourselves separately. He put all the blame on me, and it took me a while to take him off the pedestal. We were great together but the timing was off, since we hadn't addressed our insecurities and issues at that point. I haven't dated since because how often does life give you someone that ticks all the boxes? And I'm so aware of my failings that I don't want to duck up again. Quitting a job before I had another one, long story, which led to my savings being drained and my credit card debt soaring through the roof. I've recovered about a year later, but my savings are basically non-existent as I spent all of my excess paying down debt. Alcoholism from age 19 to 23. 5 years sober now. Life is exponentially better now. Glad I made it through all that. Edit, can't believe how big this comment got. To anyone struggling, I encourage you to get help in a wide way possible. Admitting your problem is a huge first step. To everyone, Ellie, thanks for keeping a positive message, keep spreading that positivity. And thanks for the gold. You're too nice. Oh hell, you doing great. I drank and did drugs from age 12 to 27. Been sober almost 35 years. The miracle is that you got sober, so many people don't. Just don't drink again, and you will have a great life. When I was young and softly shy, or apt to brood and think, I found a braver, bolder guy inside a glass of drink. I drank, and drank, and drank, and found without a drink, or 3, I wasn't fun to be around, I wasn't really me. And so I slipped from self-control. I drank my doubts away. I whispered yes and paid the toll, when no was hard to say. It's an honor to get a poem. Merci.